On a freezing cold January night in 2018, about 100 people came together for a very important cause. In memory of, honoring trans lives and losses, was a time and space for education about the disproportionate amount of violence transgender people experience in our society. These attacks often end in death. However, for the LGBTQ community, it was much more than that. As one of the trans performers said, "Not only did we mourn tonight, but we also danced and talked and lived in honor of those who can't anymore." It's not just about grieving the losses, but celebrating the lives. Our queer visibility, our celebration, our very existence is all an act of defiance and protest.
On a hot summer night in 1969, that's exactly what Marsha P. Johnson did. The P in Marsha P. Johnson stood for Pay It No Mind.
But on the night that Marsha was in the Stonewall Inn, she was fed up with the violence inflicted upon her community.
The Stonewall was one of the nightclubs where LGBTQ people often illegally gathered. Even being dressed in the clothes of the opposite sex was a crime at that time.
On that fateful night, the police had raided the bar, but the queer community had decided enough was enough. It is believed that Marsha P. was the first to throw a brick, which started a revolution.
The riot sparked the formation of many LGBTQ advocacy groups, such as STAR and the Gay Liberation Front, which were both led by Marsha.
Marsha was a revolutionary and an activist in many ways. One, you could tell she was visibly queer. Simply by walking down the street in women's clothes, she was breaking social standards and gender barriers. She was considered by many to be the mother of the gay rights movement.
She is a reminder that minorities have always been important parts of social change, even when they're not given such recognition.
And almost 50 years later, people gathered to honor the many trans people, including Marsha herself, who were killed in hate crimes.
Experts believe that crimes and discrimination against trans people are continuing to rise today.
And the biggest victims are trans women of color, like Marsha.
Though the statistics and countless amounts of dead women and girls is painful for trans people like me, people like Marsha inspire me. See, the history of our community is not of the oppressed, but of the warrior. Through bricks and protests, through songs and dance, we have always fought and stood up for our rights. We were here 50 years ago, and 50 years from now, we will still be here. And if anyone tells you differently, pay it no mind.